and range might be good for them. Could be a Farsa and a... I'm blanking. Excuse me.
It's okay.
Farsa and... What do we say? Granger. There we go.
Granger.
Farsa and Granger. Or even a Farsa Bruno would be okay for the side of TNC.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's a respect. And for Aurora, you mentioned that if ever they could go the route here for that instant burst, and the Farsa is still quite available here for Yue. But what do you partner up with that strong mid? Without the Brock now.
Well, the Gatot is still an option, and that might just be the go-to pick here for Light and Rora. You get revitalized with it as well, and it should round out the draft for Rora.
TNC, on the other hand, still missing the piece here for Lancy, and Benny QT mentioned still multiple options if he wants to go the Bruno or Ranger route is actually the safest option.
I think Rora might ban out the Bruno. They banned out the Moskov.
Okay.
Let's go Bruno Farsa for TNC. Even a Bruno and a Novaria later on would be good.
With the Farsa.
So they get the Farsa.
Farsa makes sense.
How
also
about
part
the
of this.
Selena Yue?
Yeah, what if actually Yue picks
What
up
if?
Selena? Nah, I just don't see him doing that. Like Kagura...
But it's going to be somewhat of a hard game considering there's a Hayabusa and then the Hylos.
No, Yue can bring back an old favorite and a Veil. Novaria might be tough. They could make it work somehow, but I'm leaning towards either a Valentine or a Veil.
They could still stick to US identity until just getting the Valentina here and partner it up with the Gatot Kacha. Masterpiece here for Aurora if ever. But yeah, the Selena. I'm glad we said that
Selena. Taking the Selena.
Interesting. Okay. And Badang, is that your evil laugh now?
That's her. She's got the evil laugh now. She's been here for a day.
Oh no.
It's all because of Demon Guy.
Okay. Understandable.
Sorry, I'm victim blaming.
No, it's fine.
Don't gaslight Demon Kite.
I'm sorry, but I was actually just kidding around with the Selena, but
it's
it's Yue.
Honestly, surprising for me.
I'm surprised he picked it too.
Yeah, the Hylos can just poke him down.
I don't know.
But then they can just double down on dive so that Demon Kite has a lot of space.
Maybe I just I'm looking at it at a different way, but also TNC.
Yeah.
With the Claude, maybe they just want that extra bit of survivability movement for the Claude, but is it really the go-to?
To be fair, TNC has a lot of map pressure with the Hayabusa, Farsa, and Claude all together. While the Aurora lineup want to play close and want to play together, they might leverage the fact that they'll just continuously leave Benny QT to keep pushing the long lane, the side lanes, and they might be able to slowly win through that.
Interesting take on their Game 2 draft, and as well as increasing the chances here for TNC Pro Team to somehow manipulate and control the map as early as possible.
Okay. Looking at this too, one last look. We'll see if TNC can take it to a Game 3. It'd be poetic if we can get another Game 3 here to end out Week 3. Let's find out.
Well, let's head on to our game number 2. It's going to be Rora versus TNC, and Rora is only looking at one more game win to finally close off our day.
Mobile Legends.
For TNC Pro Team, is this a start as they try and make their way here onto mid lane?
I have to acknowledge again that this is a Dominkai comfort pick. Very strong lane bully when he plays a Harith.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how Benny QT will be able to manage the lane. He's not going to win the lane. He needs to straight up manage it. So it's a good thing that he got the Master Assassin for himself to increase his chances of being able to trade somewhat up against the Harith. Well, we'll see a quick rotate towards topside by Lancy as the Farsa to ensure that 3mar gets a bit of a lead, but they're not going to be able to win that Crab EXP.
You're right, and I would also like to thank you for highlighting Benny QT as well. We've discussed the Granger versus Harith, right, on the lane. But with a Claude, it's kind of tricky. And a tricky thing here for TNC Pro Team, they're prone for denies and as well as jungle attacks here from Aurora because of the Selena pick as well.
And at the same time, you see a lot of this. They just have to go ahead and protect this early rotation for Zyda to give them a better fighting chance at the first objective. I think this is not a lineup that you're really going to be able to do much for TNC in terms of getting a first blood, unless, you know, Benny QT and Dominkite change that course, because even if even up in the XP lane, you're not going to see that much of that. So this is one of those situations where it's just got to come down to that first turtle take. And like Renmar mentioned, look at this. Look at the pressure up on the gold lane. Actually, it looks like he's going to jump in. That's the first blood from Demon Kite.
Okay, that's an off-come kill.
He got the information, though.
Moving forward, that's actually a great startup here for Rora.
Yeah, and that was actually an expected rotation. I'm surprised that TNC Pro Team left their Benny Cutie in lane like that, because that always happens. Demon Kite pressures while Demon Kite cuts behind the tower and then takes down the opposing gold laner.
And they got so much from that first blood.
Wow.
Cool energy shield plus a turret takedown versus just a turtle here for TNC Pro Team.
A 2-minute tier 1. A whole lot of gold for Rora. They don't care about that first turtle that went to TNC.
Yeah, they lose that rotation, and they might have already just lost the game. Again,
Maybe.
never say never, but at this point, considering that the Claude needs a tower and needs time to farm, Dominkite got so much gold through that, Demon Kite as well. They were able to effectively double the snowball speed of this YSS and this Harith because of the rotation that they did towards bot side. And again, this is a scouting report that should have been presented to TNC. We've seen, go back to the previous games where we see YSS and Harith together.
Yeah.
For Rora, they always have that rotation around the first turtle.
This is not just a snowball, it's an avalanche here.
Yeah.
For Aurora, right? And for TNC Pro Team, now they have to stretch out what's left just so they could ensure a network here for Benny Cutie. But more so, could we be looking at another game with 0 deaths here for Aurora because they're playing it smoothly right now?
It's actually impressive that Benny Cutie's still playing that confidently, where he's actually going and blazing, duetting into Domin Kite, you know, without that tier 1 even.
Yeah,
So
he has to.
he has to. They're going to chase down Light. Light will flicker defensively so he doesn't get caught. Not sure if they're going to be able to do much more, but it's TNC just trying to fight around this side of the map
Yeah.
to get what they can.
They have to make do with what they have.
wow.
And that's an arrow hitting.
An arrow, fist break, fist crack. Zyda should be able to get out.
What?
Light's going to get punished himself, though. So it was a good attempt, a good setup. But now Demon Kite trying to get Chaknu. Won't have enough damage. Does get the Revitalize out from Chaknu. So at least TNC gets on the board here.
Okay, so TNC Pro Team able to punish Aurora mistake, and that sort of diminishes the lead that they were able to build for themselves. However, still going to be tough here for Benny Cutie to make a comeback. Good so
Whoa,
3 more!
3 more jumping in after UA flickers. He'll be able to get out, though. Luckily, Edward was there. So now, again,
Nice
2
one.
flickers expended from Rora. Turtles up. Light's given the information, but I don't think Demon Kite wants anything to do with this.
Yep.
They're just going to trade it.
Might be a free turtle for TNC Pro Team. And as you've mentioned, because of that specific pickoff onto line, it somehow boosts the morale and as well as the vision here and movement for TNC Pro Team. And that's the kind of head start that you would want for a team that suddenly has to stretch out what's left for their jungle. And a great start still for Zyda with his Hayabusa.
Yeah, no speculation here. Definitely TNC Pro Team found a morale boost through that punish because it came off of the fact that Yua hit a really good arrow. That was a good response by Light to try and take down Zyda.
Yeah.
But then Zyda was able to remaneuver and even be the one to secure the kill there onto Light. That is morale boosting for a lot of the teams here. Many tough boots. All tough boots built here by TNC Pro Team, and I like that respect on the crowd control lockdown that Rora has in their composition.
Yeah, you're going to need those anyway. So it's up to Rora just to kind of maintain what they can, farm where they can. You see they put Domin Kite up here, and I think that's still going to be a problem for TNC if they don't actually have a way to control Domin Kite as he just goes and gets to farm up. Because, again, I think Domin Kite is probably the best Harith statistically right now. Currently in Season 16.
It is his comfort hero. And giving it onto Dominkite says a huge lot here for Aurora. Meanwhile, for TNC Pro Team, yes, you managed to get the turret here on the bottom side for Benny Cutie. You've able to somehow limit the huge gap that Aurora was trying to innate here for our game number 2. But what is not happening is that they're not finding a way to actually punish core damage leadership for Aurora. And the longer the game gets, it's just getting to be more trickier by the minute or so.
Yeah, so I think this is why we're seeing TNC not playing defensively, and they're sending 3mar out even more to try and chase down at least someone. A build advantage for TNC because they know that it's a ticking time bomb. This Harith already up to 2 core items.
Benny Cutie,
almost.
off the regen. We'll be able to get out. The fight for this third turtle, though, without Benny Cutie, they've got an advantage here for Rora. Dominkite joining the fight, dropping down the glorious pathway. There's a jump in with the bravest fighter. They're going to force the fighting away from Light. Light flickers on forward, but there's Zyda to go up and clean the kill for Light. And now still bringing it out. Turtle already secured by Rora. They're looking for more in this one. 3mar can't get away from that. Shadow kill already going to be used from Zyda. And now Benny Cutie a little bit too late on the blazing duet. Won't hit anybody.
Massive loss there for TNC Pro Team, and Aurora can just continue this snowball. Great jump with the Falling Star Moon by Edward to catch 4 members of TNC. And now Aurora can just ride on this momentum, although TNC has showed us that, bro, they're willing to fight. They're willing to find a way to turn things around. It's just because of everything that happened to Benny Cutie so far in this game, it's just so tough to do so without their main damage dealer in their gold laner. They're playing around the Lapu Lapu Farsa and the Hayabusa right now.
Rora saw the opportunity and they grabbed it, right? After Benny Cutie was forced to recall his way onto the base, there was a sudden attack here for Rora, and we do need to highlight Edward's jump from there, hitting 4 members with a Falling Star Moon, and then you also have Light as well, putting his life on the line just so they could ensure that there will be no more follow-ups here for TNC Pro Team. But now, we're closing in onto the first lord of the game. But still, it's still siding with Aurora, still established lead here of 3.5k gold lead.
Yeah, it's interesting because Light's literally his job. You can see even he's got the Thunderbelt. Like, so he's kind of just throwing himself out there because he's going to go and try to just get the fist break, fist crack combo off, do as much damage as he can. He's going to get stunned here. Where's he going to go from here? Feathered Airstrike, drop down. Yue's dealing with a shadow kill. Dominkite is there. Luckily, Yue's gone. Now Edward jumping in with a Falling Star Moon. He's going to chase Lancey down. There's another match going on with 3mar. He finally goes. Edward can't tank all of this, though. He's still waiting for the team to catch up, but Edward falls. 3 down for Rora TNC. Can they find more? Mount Shock going to be used, and Dominkite will be able to get away. Again, Benny Cutie jumps in with a blazing duet. He gets out in time.
Great moves by everyone showed up, and again, Zyda and TNC willing to fight. It was him being able to shadow kill.
He knows.
Behind enemy lines.
Dominkite knows. It was all part of the plan. They'll take out Zyda, and now the Lord is open for Rora.
What you got there?
What a read. And another arrow hits.
And now there's Light onto the backside.
Light just droning them out. Dominkite jumping in on the fight under the Zaman Forest. They're just going to hold them there as the Lord is already secured by Rora. And Dominkite does it again. Finds him under the turret. Edward will jump in with a Falling Star Moon, and Lancey has to flicker out. So Rora will get the objective. But what do they get off of this push here?
So wild of a pickup and trades here. But still, for Rora, they've managed to get their hands onto this Lord. A perfect pickup onto Zyda. But meanwhile, let's take a look back onto our Infinix instant replay.
Yeah, look at that jump. Zyda with a shadow kill in the back. Edward separating the fight. Dominkite decided to actually back off and help Demonkite with the Lapu Lapu. And that meant Edward just needed to buy time and see. After that sequence, that's when Dominkite decided to make his way towards the shrub close to the orange buff, picking off Zyda. And Zyda did not expect that the Harith would be there that deep.
They know who to punish, and they know that for Aurora, they just need to somehow wait it out. But for Zyda, he's making his way onto the back liners here for Aurora, which is a very perfect target, but he needs to be wary in close spaces like that. And they have to prevent that from happening again, because Rora is slowly breathing down on their necks. Last bits of their turret onto tier 2 is now destroyed. Lord onto the top lane, marching, and TNC Pro Team now cornered here onto their base.
Holy shields are down. They'll hold on to what they can. They deal with the Lord. TNC still in the fence. Rora might decide to go for the arrow's going to land on Zyda. He has to go ahead and shadow on out. Still putting the pressure here. These arrows are a nuisance for TNC. Chaknu playing up front, doing what he can, takes a ton of damage. Could be in trouble here as Dominkite jumps through the wall. He'll be able to find Chaknu. So another down, but TNC holding on to the base turrets, and the last shield up top goes out.
That's wild. Even under the turret at your own base.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Again, this is why we gave so much focus onto Dom and Kite in the draft of this series. If he ends up with Harith,
Light! He's just gonna go for it anyway, I guess, trying to catch them off guard, and he does just that. Base turret falls on the bottom side. Light, like I said, he's gonna throw his body for these ones.
You're right.
Dylan, don't scare us like that.
He's not even counting 1 to 3. It's just one jump.
Yeah.
He's just jumping the guns here onto TNC Pro Team. Meanwhile, for Aurora, highlighting Harith for Doming Kite. In the Filipino broadcast, we call him Paldomeng, right?
Yeah.
This is the moment that he shines the most, especially onto this huge gold gap lead onto Benny Cutie.
Yeah, Paldo, meaning
Paldo.
you're rich, you're loaded,
rich.
you've got a lot of resources, and that's exactly what Domikite has. Full build already, up to a Divine Glaive. No wonder why he was able to melt down Chapnu so quickly under the turret. And look at where Benny Cutie is at. He's still on the way to building his 4th item. He has his Trinity, yes, but he's not going to be the main damage dealer for a long time. At this point, yeah, you're playing around the Haya, Lapu, Farsa, still. And because of that, you cannot play this close. Look at where Light is holding the position right now. Vision provided. Light with the gank.
Oh,
From
it's
the
gonna
back?
go Light from the backside. Gets the flicker out from Lancey. Disengaging Zyda. Checks
Demon
things out,
Kite.
but Demon Kite already gonna be able to get the Lord.
Chapnu.
Demon Kite is on the run. Does TNC really want to fight this?
Oh.
They're gonna drop down the glorious pathway. Chaknu leading up the front.
Zyda!
Zyda will be able to go in with a shadow kill. He does find Doming Kite. Now still breaking out Edward. Taking it up, 4 members, 3 more. Could be in trouble. Light. There's the blazing duet from Benny Cutie. Finally able to connect, and TNC will fight back. Able to find 2 from Rora.
And they finally get it. Shutting down Domikite and as well as disrupting Light's process as well.
Bro, TNC has massive cajones. They decided to fight into that. Any other team would have backed off, but they pushed the envelope, and Zyda said, sure, let me make sure that I can pick off Dominic in the back, and he still found the angle to toss the shadow and commit the kill onto Doming. Light got finished off as well, and this makes the defense for TNC so much easier.
What's Chaknu gonna do? He's just trying to cut them off from just committing to this push. Lord's gonna be dealt with really quickly, and TNC, because of that whole team fight, they didn't lose anything in this base.
And TNC Pro Team is actually winning on the pickups. That's 6 to 8 on the kill score. And most importantly, now Benny Cutie is slowly catching up onto what could be the core damage leader now for TNC Pro Team.
Feathered Airstrike dropped down and Abyssal Arrow thrown out, but TNC, they've got great wave clear. As long as Lancey's able to stay up, the rest of the team. So ultimately, they find themselves still okay. TNC might be down 3,000 gold. They still have plenty of room to cover, but all this is a waiting game. They had to get Benny Cutie caught up because of the early pressure that he faced, and he's finally getting there.
Okay, TNC, they are still definitely in this, and Aurora need to be careful. The energy that TNC brings to the table, we said it so many times over the years, the poison of Chaknu. But in the coaching staff, E2Max is there. And now let's see if they'll be able to inject some of that energy here, that never say die attitude that Chaknu has played with for so long, E2Max has played with for so long. Now with this quad, items already locked in, Farsa, 3, even has a Magic Lantern, Divine Glaive. And now with the High Loss frontline, Radiant Armor on the way to the Dominant Size as well, alongside the Queen's Wings for 3 more. No wonder why they can be willing to fight.
Chaknu
leading the charge.
Okay, that was a very scary moment here for Aurora, but we do need to highlight the TNC, as long as they're able to stretch out the game, as you've mentioned, they're slowly catching up in terms of defensive items. And Chaknu is just waiting for his Dominance Ice next. And for Aurora, meanwhile, they actually need to finish this off immediately, as long or as fast as possible. Because for TNC Pro Team, if they're able to stretch it out yet again for this Lord, they may just take and stretch this game onto a game number 3.
Yeah, Light with a good flank angle again. By the way, Demon Cat already got to build up a Sea Halberd as his last item. Zyda able to get his purple boss. Zyda has solidified himself as a stone cold killer. But he's also fantastic at the retro battle. Let's see if he can make magic.
Okay, 3 more. Taking the lead onto the intel, and a very nice vision there. They're too traumatized if ever there's a Demon Kite or even a Yue. Dominkite as well here needs to be well protected as Zaida just hits along the shadows here for TNC Pro Team.
Yeah, they don't have to overcommit to this either. They're going to let Rora pull this through. Lancey dealing with the waves. That's the biggest thing for TNC is managing the waves here.
Interesting.
Keep an eye where Light is, that positioning. They might try to pull something off of this. Edward giving some information right now where Chaknu and 3mar are. There's the conceal. What are Light Demon Dominkite gonna go? There's the fist break, fist crack. Benny Cutie's gone. A great setup from Rora, and it's just falling apart for TNC. What a play from Light to make it. And that looks like that's going to be all they had to do. Zaida tries to defend. A wave pushing in from the bottom. And there's nothing he can do but watch the base locked in as Rora will sweep TNC.
Emphatic Light proving that if he can do it with the demon, he can do it.